Transit Sports TV, we are back again. Our weekend preview, week 3 of the Premier League. Looking at the fixtures in fact, this season is serving us exactly how we wanted as fans. From week 1, it's been excitement, it's been banter, it's been surprising results, and whatever you have. Today, I have the regular musketeers, I call them, and one of the what's the word now? One of the old timers on Transit Sports TV. Chima is back in the studios today. Chelsea is back. Chima is back, and of course, my brother, man like Ify and Osborne, are here to do justice to this weekend's preview. We have Chelsea at home to Fulham. We have United playing at home to Burnley, and of course, Tottenham hosting Bournemouth. And the biggest game of the weekend, Liverpool hosting Arsenal at home. So, guys, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, guys. Transit TV, this is Chima back at it again. I'm the happiest man in the world. Chelsea is it. Whenever Chelsea is playing well, I'm happy. I eat good meal. I celebrate watching the game. I'm here to discuss Chelsea and other things. Welcome and good to see you again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's good to see you, bro. Always good to see you. Man like Ify, you're back again to the studios. Your fans want to hear from you.
I mean, it's always good to be on live. At least today's one is 2-2, 2 Chelsea, 2 Arsenal. You know, I've been being bullied before, 2-1, 2 Arsenal, 1 Chelsea. So I believe today is going to be fire. So I'm glad to even see Chima on it, and we can dissect Chelsea and have a good one. But yeah, obviously, it's man like Ify, one of the faces that run the place. I'm here. We'll talk. What are you saying though? You look all right?
Yes, Osborne, we're live again. Back to see you, bro. See you.
Nice to be here. Nice to see our regular faces. Man like Ify. It's gonna be fun today. When you have two Chelsea stalwarts in the house. Let's have some fun.
Yes, and you know, Chelsea fans are always Chelsea fans. You can, I think there is an initiation they do for all Chelsea fans. They show up the same way.
Oh gosh.
They show up the same
love
way.
that. I love that language.
Different mothers, different fathers, but whenever they show up, is exactly the same. Yes, we're starting with Chelsea, obviously, playing at home with Fulham. Chelsea right now is 4th on the table. Fulham's 13th. Fulham has 2 points, 2 draws. You remember last weekend, they held Manchester United to a 1-1 draw. Their first game as well was a draw, and Chelsea have 1 draw, 1 win. Chelsea has scored Chelsea has scored how many goals? The first one was 4.
5 goals.
5 and 2.
5-1.
5-1.
5-1, yeah. So and Fulham, the last 6 meetings between these two teams, Chelsea has won 3 times and Fulham has won once and 1 draw. So if you're going by the recent history between the both of them, it looks like it's going to be a tight one. Last season, they both beat each other 2-1 away from home. Fulham beat Chelsea in Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea beat Fulham at Craven Cottage. Yeah, man like Ify, how are you looking at this one coming up?
We're going for vengeance. We're going to destroy Fulham. You remember, like you said, they beat us in Stamford Bridge, and that's the first time they've ever done that in more than 40 years, donkey years. So I think right now we're out for revenge. You know, we're going to put them in their place. They remember the status quo. There's only one London team. Blue is the color, and obviously with the firepower we have, with what we did to our West Ham London rivals, Fulham, which is our rivals, our local derby, they probably be getting it. You know, it's going to be fireworks. You know, I'm always going to be honest about Chelsea's chances. I fear for the defense, the goalie. I don't know why we're not signing. I don't know why the board is not going out for Donnarumma, to be honest. Like, he wants to leave PSG. Like, Chelsea has Champions League football. That's a criteria to get a top goalie like Donnarumma. And he's in his prime right now. I think he's 26. Yeah, he's 26. He'll be a perfect fit for Chelsea. He's been in Milan, he's been in PSG, he's done it, won it everywhere. So I don't understand the new director or his own direction. Sanchez cannot take us to the promised land. He can't take us to the next level. So I really worry about that defense because come December, you know how the games come thick and fast. So we're really going to struggle. But up front, the firepower is there, man. I'm loving up front. So
Yeah,
we have to.
the thing is that most times we fans we forget that this transfers, like they always say, has to happen between three people, three groups, or three parties. The player, the team selling, the player, player's team, and the team buying. Chelsea might want Donnarumma, but does he want Donnarumma? Nobody knows. Sometimes they might also want him, and he wants to come, but they don't need to pay what he's going to pay. Looking at Chelsea's module now, maybe Donnarumma doesn't look like a player that they will sell to make money in 2 seasons to come, and he's going to demand. He's demanding an amount like Chelsea presently are doing very cheap payroll. So probably that's what's stopping them from going for Donnarumma.
No,
But
no, 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 no. Hey, I
yeah,
disagree.
yeah,
Listen,
go ahead.
we're Chelsea. Anything money cannot do, more money will do it. We're
No,
Chelsea.
no, I'm not talking
Yeah,
about sign-on fee. I'm talking about salary. Chelsea are not paying that much.
exactly my point. Anything
No,
money cannot do,
that's not the module. I'm not saying you
more
don't
money
have
will do
money,
it.
but I'm talking about how
Listen,
they are operating right now.
Mister,
They're not paying players to 120,
Mister.
150
The
is
thing
how
is
Chelsea is
this.
going.
Yeah, like I said, if Chelsea can spend big bucks on players like Zhao, Estavio, um, uh, Gittins, yeah, and Hato from Ajax. Why wouldn't you spend top bucks for a
Man,
goalie?
man, like if you may I come in here?
The thing
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that you're
go on,
not
go on.
listening. I'm talking about salary, weekly wages. I'm not talking about sign-on fee.
Yeah, but
When you
that
take
the weekly wages would always be agreed with the club. It
no,
has
no,
nothing
not
to
the
do
club, if the player. That's what I'm telling you. The Chelsea
with the
module right
weekly.
now, they're not
Sir,
playing players. They're playing 120, 110. Jerome is
listen.
asking for 300,000 a week.
Listen, yeah. The fact that he's asking for it does not mean it cannot be negotiated, and that will be done between the agent, the club, and the player.
He's not
That's my
backing down.
point.
That's what he wants. That's why
But
he's
you
leaving
don't
PSG. He's not
listen.
backing down.
That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Okay.
Yeah. There are other incentives. You see, money might not be everything. There are other incentives. Is it going to be comfortable? We are going into a World Cup here. Remember, next year is the World Cup. So if he chooses to remain on the bench or not even in the starting in line 11 with PSG and playing in the reserves, his place at the World Cup is not guaranteed. So he has to also factor that. Do you get what I'm saying? All right, go on, Odu. I'm hearing you.
Yeah, Reggie's point is that he's talking about salary and not transfer fee, which is well documented. That I think 2 years ago or so, after this new regime from Chelsea came in, they decided to peg their salaries at a particular range, and they've refused to go over that range. So I think I understand that it might be something that may block someone like Donnarumma joining Chelsea, because not that they don't have the money to pay him, but they have a policy of paying within a certain range. If you're over that range, then you have to either agree to fall on into that range or they move on, right? So that's what I think may be happening here.
Okay,
And
Chima,
as for his
Chima, call help me. This man's are not understanding my
Yeah,
point. Chima, come
and
help
as
me.
for his
let me
as
ask Tima. Tima, I have a
can I
question for
finish?
you.
Can I finish?
God, you finish.
Yeah. And as for his national team position, Donnarumma, as long as he's playing for a club, whether he's on the bench or not, is the number one goalkeeper for Italy.
You don't know that.
There's nobody comes. No, tell me who exactly now will collect the shirt from Donnarumma?
Who knew
Yeah.
who knew Courtois would be on exile for Belgium? You don't know that. Nothing is guaranteed in
So,
football.
so that exactly, it just depends on who is in charge of the national team. Yeah,
Okay.
he's by far the best and the most high profile goalkeeper that Italy has, right? So I'm not saying that they cannot field somebody else, but I'm saying that as long as he's available and he's not, doesn't have a personal beef with the coach, even if he's on the bench for another club, they'll most likely field him. Right?
Okay.
I don't know what if he's saying. It's not as if he doesn't have option. Manchester City are ready to pay the money. United are ready to pay the money. So if he comes to that, he has options. That's where Chelsea has issue, and that's why Chelsea is not even trying because they know that there are people who are competing for him as well who are ready to pay the bucks. So it's not about Champions League. It's about the guy feels that this is what I deserve to earn. 300,000 for a week for a keeper is a lot of money. So you have to really be sure of your financials. And Chelsea right now, the module I believe that the owners are doing is to make the team competitive and make a lot of money for the players. They're not really out for the trophies from the way they are operating because the way they are selling players within 1 year or 2 years is going to make it difficult for that team to gel over a long period. Okay, so let's look at the game again.
We didn't hear from Chema.
Yeah, I want to ask him, before we move on, let's read a few comments from our viewers right there. We have Uche in their place, excited to see what Fulham will do. Yes, okay. John is back again. Good evening, sir. Choma, you say, why am I not here? Yeah, Choma, Choma just asked after you. You're going to be here soon. Choma says, Chelsea fans, calm down. Oh, John says, Chelsea has the money, so they should spend it to get what they want. We'll see. Choma says they can buy anyone. Chima, okay, you heard what we're talking about. What do you think about this conversation about Chelsea paying
The
over
truth
the
is,
odds for Donnarumma? And secondly, I know you don't have too much time with us today. Or like if you mentioned, having seen Fulham this season and even last season as well, how do you think this game is going to pan out?
you know, Fulham is a team that is unpredictable. From time to time, they will sprinkle surprises. But my joy, though, is that the Chelsea of this season is not that push and follow Chelsea we had last season. We have what I consider little attack force. Just any chance, if we have 10 chances, I can beat my chest that will score 9 with that attack lineup. You know, anytime near, not even close chances that comes to Pedro, I consider it a goal. If he comes to Gustav, I consider it a goal. Even Glitton is not, he's not. You can't rate him in the likes of the way I see him play. I cannot see him and look him to be Jackson. So my joy is that whatever Fulham brings, this is not that Chelsea that are unpredictable. This Chelsea is, make sure you take your chances with them because they're going to take with you. Chelsea is like ancient day Brazilian team. They probably don't have a good defense, but definitely they're going to score you 10. If you score them 5, that's okay. So that is why I'm not, in as much as I'm still concerned with if his concerns, I still believe that whatever is the case, if we're scoring 5 and they're scoring 2, we're making headway. So I'm not bothered about Fulham's, our game with Fulham this weekend. I only concerned about what Arsenal will do. How they're gonna feel the pressure on the outside. That's my happiness.
That's how we feel.
Fulham traveling to Stamford Bridge. How do you think this game is going to pan out?
Well, I expect a tough game. I expect a tough game for Chelsea, but I expect a Chelsea win because of the form that they are in right now. Because Chelsea have improved considerably compared to last season, and Fulham are about at the same place that they were last season in terms of beefing up their squad, in terms of the materials they have available. Anthony Robinson, who I thought was one of their best players isn't starting for them now. They're starting Sessegnon ahead of him, which I found quite strange. So maybe his form has gone down a bit. I don't know what's going on. But Fulham are like Crystal Palace. They are a solid side, well organized. Everybody has their role. They know what to do. Um, but the firepower isn't there like it was last season. They haven't really improved. They haven't added players, and I think they probably will add players within the next 4 or 5 days. So that's where I would say Chelsea will have an edge because Chelsea have beefed up their squad. Attack is clicking much better. Um, Chima mentioned that Pedro gets a chance. If Pedro was a one chance one goal
One
player,
goal.
how come he hasn't scored up to 15 goals since he started playing in the Premier League? But now he has just joined Chelsea. He has become a one chance one goal striker. But anyways, they have, yes, players that will hurt you at any point in time. But Chelsea should watch it because what I'm seeing, Nkunku right now just left for AC Milan. Um, this guy Jackson is likely going to head to Bayern Munich, and I hear that Xavi Simon is in London, but Tottenham just bid 80 something million euro for him as of today. So Chelsea will need to. They are letting a lot of players go. They will need to make sure to replace those players because the likes of Pedro, Estevao has shown in his first game. You can see the ability is there, but this is his first season. You don't want to put all your hopes on an 18 or 19-year-old boy from Brazil that's playing his first season. You want to make sure you have adequate, players there in case any of those guys hit a bad patch or gets injured, that kind of stuff. But I expect Chelsea, for every game they play this season, I expect Chelsea to have the potential to win it. Actually, I think they're a contender for the league title.
Yes, I hear you guys. Like, one thing I would say, obviously, I agree with the fact that Chelsea are very strong going forward. But I still have my reservation. Like Ugo mentioned, Pedro is a player I like. I see him, I describe him as a terrific player, but for me, he's not a prolific striker. So Chima saying that he's one chance, one goal, I don't agree with that. But he's a terrific good footballer. He can score goals, but not as a prolific striker, and he can play football as well. And he works hard for that front three. That's one thing that Chelsea probably will not lose with letting Jackson go if he eventually leaves, because Pedro as well works very hard. Pedro Neto, I mean, on his day can torment any defense, but I don't see him as a very consistent. He's not a week in, week out top performance, 7/10 player. Sometimes he gives you 4/10, and some other days he gives you 9/10. So that consistency might not be there. And on the right side, the Stanford, like Ugu mentioned, is a new player. He looks very exciting in the first game last weekend, provided they go. Until Kupama comes back, we'll see how that right side is going to shape up. In the midfield, Chelsea are really strong. Caicedo is the best, is one of the best as you can get right now. And Enzo has started to play his role eventually. So yeah, in that department, Chelsea looked very good. But Fulham is not a team that you can write off. They can spawn you anytime. Defensively, Chelsea have issues, and not just their back four, even their keeper. Like I always say, there's always going to be a Sanchez moment. So give and take, this game can easily be a draw. But Chelsea winning it is not going to supposed to surprise anybody. They have what it takes to win this game, and we'll see how that's going to pan out. If you have just a few words, let's move to the next game, United versus.
Obviously, what you saying? First is first. Although you forget that Chelsea is in the hunt to sign Garnacho, so it's not like we're letting players in and we're not trying to recoup. We're actively trying to get Garnacho to come and bluster up that attack. Then obviously the Chima said, yeah, the thing with Neto is this. He has that creativity. Yeah. Sometimes he goes in and out of the game and all of that. But that's football. It happens. But I don't think, as a Chelsea fan, even the betting odds, the bookmakers would always give Chelsea this
Upper
weekend's
hand.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I think.
Okay, guys, we'll move to the next one. Is there any comment from our viewers out there? Firmino just come in. Firmino just came in. And guys, before we continue, we're going to have 3 games this weekend that if you predict them correctly, their scores, you win your club jersey. So keep an eye to the end of this show. We're going to give you those 3 games. If you get the scoreline correctly, then you will win a jersey of your club. Manchester United are home to Burnley. 2 games, 1 point for United. Arsenal beat them at home 1-0. They drew 1-1 with Fulham last weekend. Yesterday, let me not say the unthinkable. A lot of people were surprised with Grimsby knocking United out of the Carabao Cup. It's not looking good in that stadium now, in that team. Anything about United right now is off. The fans are all over the internet bantering, and some are saying Amorim out. Chima, let me start with you. Amorim, do you think is all on Amorim, or is United is there more to it? And is Amorim done in United already?
I was impressed with what United did against Arsenal. I was extremely impressed. I felt like Arsenal was lucky to get away with the win. I even thought Arsenal's goal would have some referees. With my referee knowledge, I would have ruled out a foul on the keeper, you know. But be that as it may, I don't want to use a blanket brush to, to judge Amorim with just 2 league games. I want to give him time. I want to really look at him because they didn't do bad against Arsenal. It was just the god of soccer and luck. And sometimes I believe also that players need to be motivated. It may be a psychologist to, psych their morals up. So it is not for me. It is not yet time to ace the coach. Let's give him time to see what he has in his arsenal.
Man like Ife, Amorim 30 games in EPL, 7 wins, over 10 losses, and I think 6 or 7 draws. And if Chima says give him some time, but this is exactly how it was last season. He has had a whole preseason with this team, changed the front line, and it looks like nothing has changed. Right now, I have a feeling that these players, I know this is a common say in football when things are going bad, but it's really, really obvious when you see United. It looks like these players just go in there. I saw Cunha. Okay, let me just get your view. It looks like the player are not playing for the coach. What's your view, and what do you think is the way out for Amorim?
I think first things first, I truly disagree with Chima. Yeah, he's still talking about it's just 2 games. You can't judge him on only 2 games. You have to look back at when he took over the team. Yeah. And they're not winning. You're always going to be judged on your success in anything you do. Do you see what I'm saying? They're not winning. Some games, their star players like Bruno goes missing. The other day, we were talking about my man getting upset that he bumped to the referee and his skydive penalty. Yeah, you remember that one against Fulham. Yeah. Then you look at them yesterday. Yeah. Plus Onana, I don't know what's going on with that one. Yeah. Yes, they showed a little bit of character and they came back to 2-2. But should United really be dragging with a League Two team? Yeah. And they named almost a top squad. Do you see what I'm saying? So I'll be honest with you. Everyone in United is complacent at the moment, but the major blame for me is on the gaffer. And here's why I'm saying it. You're playing a system, yeah. You played almost 18 games or more from the last season. It didn't work. There's no manager bounce. Yeah. There's no manager bounce. The team is not gelling. Yeah. Most of the games are lethargic. A lot of players go missing. So there's something wrong with that system. Now, a team like United, with the players they have, that free, whatever he plays, 3-4, 3-3, 4-2-1, whatever he plays, that system, I don't think is suited for United. He should think about adaptability, and he should think about switching to either a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1. He has the firepower to play that. You see what I'm saying? And some blame would also go on the players. Like when we used to play in the park, we were not getting paid, but you just strap on your boots, you just go with grit and tenacity and go, hey, we're not losing to these dudes. Do you see what I'm saying? There's that belief that you should have that. Nah, come on, man. We're a top club. We're united. We cannot be embarrassing ourselves, our fan base. And how do you go home? How do you go home and you sleep and you're okay and you come back to training knowing that Grimsby just dumped you out of a Carabao Cup? Grimsby, a League Two side. There's no excuse for all of them. But my top blame goes on that manager because that formation is not working and he keeps on maintaining it. They had all look if you look at the stats yesterday, you'll be pissed. They had the possession, they had shots on target. It was 70-30.
Yeah,
70 to United.
yeah, but
Okay.
like if I hear you, Ugum, let's hear you a little bit. Ugum, like I said, if you remember last week, I mentioned that you got Shesko, and I don't know what his fitness was, but I felt that Shesko should have started from day one because that's a brand new front three right there and start gelling with Cunha and Mbuemo. People were saying now that, and yesterday Shesko starts because if he was fit to start yesterday, 2 day or 2 or 3 days after a league cup, league game, why couldn't he start over the weekend and start getting his confidence? And yesterday he's in there. He can't even figure out who the striker was. Cunha is there doing his thing his way, and I don't know what have you made of that front three that Amorim assembled and Shesko in particular as the front man.
It's a problem. It's a problem. If you see even the penalty shootouts, Sesko took the 10th
The
penalty
10th one, yeah,
only
confident.
only before the goalkeeper. There's something wrong. We had this discussion before Amorim got hired, and I felt like United, their planning, their team planning has left a lot to be desired, and I felt they needed a change in hierarchy from director of football to all that. And they did that. They changed director of football, changed the backroom staff, and then they went on and hired a coach, right? Because that's how you do it. You start from the top and you have a philosophy, you have a way that you want to play, and then you hire a coach that ties in with the way the club wants to play. And then that coach, you buy players to fit what that coach wants to do, right? To be able to achieve the. So many people wondered when Amorim was hired because he plays, they call it 3-4-3 or whatever formation he plays. And it was clear that the players that United had did not fit. He didn't have enough players with the style that he wanted to play. When he came in, it was a problem, right? And I felt that they needed to correct those problems. Now, over the summer, they bought 3 forwards. Those 3 forwards, are they the right fit for the way Amorim wants to play? Now we are all confused. I watched that game yesterday. I saw Onana make a save and then kept the ball on the floor and then booted the ball to the opponent. Just from his 18-yard box, dropped the ball on the floor, just cleared it off to the opponent. I'm like, I mean, even where we play in Green Eagles
On Saturday.
Yeah, you could string 3, 4, 5 passes together, and you see some progressive play. You see some kind of pattern in place. But watching United yesterday, I couldn't see what they were trying to do, and it's been like that. Yeah. Against the likes of us now, they will stand up, they will close down spaces, and everybody will rejoice. Hey, these guys are match big size. City the same thing. When they see Liverpool, is the same thing. They play up to par. But then when you have teams that give you space to do what you can do, they don't get anything going. So at this stage, I really don't know what the solution would be for United because apparently it's not working. What Amorim is trying to do is not working. Um, and I cannot say he doesn't have players because he has bought the three forwards, but those three forwards don't seem to know what to do. They look like a shadow of themselves when they were with their clubs last season. So something has got to give.
Okay, Ugum, let me stay with you right there. Burnley, they lost 3-0 to Tottenham the first weekend, and last weekend they beat Sunderland, who beat West Ham 3-0, 2-0. So do you think, how do you think this game is going to pan out?
For Burnley, I think United, I mean, this is he that is down needs fear no fall, like they say. It's time for them to really try and get a win. Burnley, I rated Scott Parker as their coach. I like the guy. The guy knows what he's doing. So they're gonna be formidable opponents. They're gonna keep the ball on the floor and play because that's how I know Scott Parker likes to play. So it's up to United to really wake up and fight. I think they have the team, they have the pedigree to beat Burnley.
Chima, what do you think is going to be the outcome of that game? Chima, are you there?
I think Chima is on mute. I think Chima is on mute.
Okay, let's go with you, Fee. How do you think that game is going to pan out?
I mean, with United, the devil, I don't know, they're no longer Red Devils. and the devil in the detail says that I'll be honest with you. I think by Burnley might even do them dirt. I'm looking at Burnley.
It's possible.
Oh yes, the way they are right now. If Burnley can go at them, play without no fear, barring any maybe refereeing decision, stupid, reckless challenges, cars, and all of that. I'm thinking Burnley might win that game too. There's nothing to be fearful going against United. There's no fear factor. They played okay. When you look at towards the end of that game yesterday, they started stringing passes, holding up the ball. Maybe I guess Greensby players started gassing out early and all of that. So they started coming into the game more. Obviously, Mbuemo scored, which will boost his confidence. Do you see what I'm saying? But if they continue with that formation, I don't think it might be a draw. I'm going for either a Burnley draw or a Burnley win. I'm not giving United that win, to be honest. I can't see them. They're not on that level where I believe that. And again, this is on the coach, like he's not even trying to be adaptable, Okay, you've tried your three. I mean, like a cup game yesterday, you should have at least played off for free. Just give the players an opportunity, and that's why they have these cup games. Do you see what I'm saying? You test different skills, different patterns, different players, different formations. That's why it's a cup game, And if we going back to other managers, yeah, for cup games, they use like their young squad or players coming up. Do you see what I'm saying? But they named a decent squad, and they still lost. So I don't know about.
For me, first of all, this game is at Old Trafford, and it might give United some edge, and I see this game maybe a draw, or Burnley might even win. Like you guys have mentioned, it looks very obvious that the confidence now in United is on the floor, and the coach is not backing down in what he's doing. It looks like these players are not buying into it. That front three, they have quality, obviously, but there's no pattern. It looks like everybody, especially Cunha, and I said this before the season started, and some United fans were telling me because I'm an Arsenal fan and I'm beefing them. I said, no, Cunha is a player that, watching him in Wolves, the reason why he excelled in Wolves is because he had the freedom to do whatever he liked, and it worked for him the way he likes to play football. He's a player that likes freedom. So coming to United, where probably he has to play a certain type of way, I don't think he's going to pan out, and he's playing from the wings. So you can see he's trying, he's fighting, and it looks like he's fighting for himself. He wants to get his goal, he wants to do well. So there's going to be issues in that team, and Amorim, I don't really know. I pray that he goes well for him. We'll move on to the next game. Tottenham is hosting Bournemouth. This is going to be a very interesting game. Bournemouth is a team that is, for me, that is brave. They know what they want to do. They try to do it regardless of who they're playing against. Tottenham are flying. They have 6 points, scored 5 goals so far this season, and they are second on the log behind Arsenal on goal difference. And Bournemouth, went to hosted Liverpool in the first day of the season and came back from 2-0 to 2-2 before Liverpool, did them a couple of numbers. And last weekend, they won Wolves 1-0. So, man like Ify, I don't know, how do you think this one is going to pan out?
Frank Thomas Frank has really done a good job with Spurs. I feel Spurs will win that one. They're flying high right now. Their players look different from Postecoglou's settings. Thomas Frank has them playing some beautiful football. Kudus is in the form of his life, doing well. He played very well the last game. Richarlison also, his hold up play has improved, and yeah, in the midfield, Bentancur, and they still have Kulu to come back. Bentancur is playing well. The African boy Busima is doing well too. Maybe they might be shaking in defense, but I don't see. I only see a win. I only see a win for Spurs. Areola has done a truly decent job in Bournemouth, but there's only so much he can do. They really haven't signed a lot of players. They lost some in the summer. I mean, the good thing he did was he was able, and it's not yet over the season. The transfer window is not done yet, so he may still lose. Somebody might come in a late bid, and he may still lose Semenyo. Clivert is still out injured, so they might also struggle too. Nobody knows. But looking at this weekend, I think there's no other team but Spurs right now. Like I
Okay,
told you, they might
let's
be.
take a few comments from our comment section. And John said, Man U losing Garnacho to their rival is a big mistake. Imagine Garnacho scoring against Man U when they clash. Yeah, I hear you. Onana go finish Man U if Man U no displays that guy. And we have Cruz. Cruz says, if they had all the possession and shots, talking about Manchester United and attack, then how is he the manager? His tactic works, but the players are not executing. It is the players then, Sir Ife. Ukandu says, Amorim will get it right. The players are letting the team down. We see Tequila
Okay,
Henderson
but
says, Sir, quit touching your face. Man like Ife, somebody is seeing you on this. Ukandu says, Liverpool will beat us now on Sunday. Yeah, Ukandu, we're going to get to that in a bit. Firmino says, Man U will win 2-1. Okay, we see that. Man, Ugo.
no, hold on. But you see, the thing is this. This is why I like football. This is why I disagree with a whole lot of people. You see, when you keep on blaming the players, what do? Them players are signed to 3-4 years contract. So are you going to fire all of them? No. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You can't fire all of them. There's nothing you can do. If something has to change, the only person that can go is the gaffer. So I understand the comment section, but if you're saying the players are letting the team down, the question would be, why are the players letting the team down? Something is not clicking. So the message is not being passed right. Or there seems to be like a gap in transmission. Do you see what I'm saying? So something
yeah.
is not supplying. The
It's
channels
not
are
right.
missing. And the only way you can pinpoint that one is you have to look at the gaffer. So that's my own take.
Yes, sir. So, Ugum, what's your take? Tottenham hosting Bournemouth this weekend.
I think it will be a competitive game. Like you said, Beaumont are a team with strong work ethic and pedigree in the last 2 seasons under Iraola. Iraola is a coach I love. knows how to set up his team. You could see the first game against Liverpool, what kind of game they gave Liverpool. Liverpool managed to scratch through, in spite of the players that they lost. So they are going to be formidable opponents for Tottenham. The Tottenham are in good form, really good form. I think they may be facing yet, even in spite of the way that they beat Manchester City, they may be facing quite a formidable, opponent in Bournemouth. So I would rate this to be likely a draw.
Yeah, that game is going to be a very, very interesting game. And if Tottenham don't start on time to pull away, Bournemouth is going to be a very big problem for them, because that's a team that's very, very organized. They have identity. They just know how they want to play, and they play that way regardless. Very strong when it comes to draws. They don't back down. They compete. They are fit, and they have how they play. So Tottenham needs to be very careful. The only thing the thing that about Tottenham right now is Thomas Frank is a very pragmatic coach. He sets his teams up to win a game, not really necessarily play a certain type of way. First of all, he makes them to be strong defensively. Then he will go from there. So that's what's going to work for me, going to work for Tottenham. Thomas Frank is not going to underrate Bournemouth in any way, except the players do. And having said that, so Tottenham might have my edge this one out. But if I see a draw, I will not be surprised. I will move to the biggest game of the weekend: Liverpool at the Anfield War, the title contenders war, early one this season at Anfield. We have had some very interesting games already in the season, and that's why this season is already exciting for us. Just 3 games in at Anfield. Firmino, I know you're there, going to have your views on this one. Man, like Liverpool has scored 7 goals, conceded 4. Arsenal has scored 6, conceded none so far this season. Arsenal has 6 points, Liverpool has 6 points. Yeah, but the goal difference is Arsenal has 5, I think 5 or 6 goals, 6 goals different. Liverpool has 4 or 3. I can't remember right now. How do you see this one panning out? Arsenal missing Saka, and Odegaard is not guaranteed to play in that game as well. But they brought in Eze last Saturday, and obviously has trained with the team all through this week and has been playing for Crystal Palace. So fitness might not be an issue except for adaptation. So how do you see this game panning out? I don't know. Frimpong is not going to be there. Szoboszlai played right back, and he did very well against Newcastle last weekend. I don't know, on Monday, I mean. How do you see this one panning out?
Well, you know how it is. I think they are the top. Obviously, you have to count City still. So those are the top 3 teams right now. So it's a clash. It's a proper clash of the Titans, really. However, that being said, Liverpool is home. They should have more character going into the game. But you cannot write off Arsenal too, because if Arsenal come in with that mindset that we're not going to lose that game, it's going to be a tough one. Like I've always said, styles make fights. So looking at the front line, I think we already know VG is about that. My man scored a brace last week, so he's proper pumped up. Maybe they might struggle because I don't think Saka is playing. So Martinelli or Trossard, they don't really give you much like that. They're not people that you can. They one of them ones that blow hot or cold. Now there's Eze coming in, so it will be good to see where your gaffer plays him. But if we're looking at it from a pundit, a neutral standpoint, I reckon that game might be a draw. But obviously, I'm Chelsea, so we're going to look at it from a bias point of view. I believe Arsenal is going to lose that game, and I want them to lose that game proper.
Ogum, key matchups in that game, like if you mentioned Vitor Gokares against Konate and Virgil van Dijk. Martinelli's case is interesting. He has always had good games at the Anfield. So I believe Arteta might start him in this game because he has always done well. He has scored there and really done well against Liverpool at Anfield. So probably he will start that game. His matchup with Soboslai, if he still plays in the right back position. Another matchup will be Ekitike going against Saliba and Gabriel. He also has to be maintained in the midfield going toe-to-toe with Florian Wirtz. How do you see these key matchups and which one is looking more enticing for you?
It's going to be a good one. The matchup between Gyökeres and Konate and Van Dijk will be interesting. In fact, those defenders will love, marking Gyökeres because Gyökeres is physical and they like physical, right? Well, if you want to destabilize Konate and Van Dijk, give them someone that's like a Kitike. Give them someone that's like Isak. Players like that are not that are very light on their feet, have nimble footwork, do channel running and all that. So I think they will have probably an easy one fighting against Gyökeres, but Gyökeres is up for the physical battle any day. So we look forward to that. That's going to be fascinating to watch. And then I'm thinking who is going to play from the right will be key to this battle because over the years, over the past few meetings, Saka has been a key player against Liverpool. Saka has always either scored or assisted against Liverpool, always gives them problems. I'm hoping that Noni can provide the same level of performance if he's laughing. But we'll see. We'll see how that works. Whether he starts, if he starts, I trust him. I think he can do what Saka does in terms of putting a level of pressure on that side of the defense and not allowing their fullback do what Kirkes and the rest of them do what they like to do, move up and down and be a problem for us. So on the other hand, Ekitike has shown what he can do. Fine player, he plays like Isak, always there, back and forth, skillful, uses his chances, takes his chances, which makes it quite scary. So Saliba and Gabriel will have to be on their feet throughout the game and make sure that they don't let him sleep in. Of course, Salah is there. Whoever plays left back for us now will be key, right? Do you play Calafiori? Calafiori has struggled against Salah in the past. Or do you play, what's his name? Excuse me, Maslow Skelly?
MLS, yes.
Yeah, a bit of a better matchup for Salah, but he tends to lose concentration sometimes, and if Salah gets his chance, he scores. So now, for me, the key to Arsenal in this game would be Eberechi, right? He will be an X factor. He's new. Nobody knows what to expect from him in an Arsenal shirt, right? So what position is he going to play? Is he going to play number 10 or is he going to play from the left? I think that typically what Arteta may do may be to at least provide some structure. If you cannot win it, don't lose it, right? If you cannot win the game, make sure you don't lose the game. The worst case scenario will be a draw. So I cannot predict what Arteta will do. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm confident. I'm confident that Arsenal will not lose.
I hear you. Before I go ahead and make my comment, let's read some interesting. This one is generating chats. Liverpool will beat Arsenal 2-1. Firmino, of course, you're a Liverpool fan. And John says Arsenal is going to score first in that match. Okay, John says you want Arsenal to lose. Talking about if you lie, it will be the other way around. And then we have the big man, the Pele himself, Humphrey Nadiato. He said key matchup is in the midfield. How does Zubi hold up in controlling possession and tempo? Yeah, that's an interesting one. And Firmino said, others, I love that your analysis in that Gyökeres, Konate, and visual explanation. Yeah, get your flowers right there. And Humphrey says, if they allow Gyökeres to stand there in the middle and get beat up all game by VVD and Konate, then like against Man United, it will be a long day. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting how this game is going to go. Like we're talking about the matchups. Soboslai really, really impressed me in their game against Newcastle. And he didn't play that right back as a traditional right back, even with the pace of Gordon, Harvey Barnes, and Elanga, he was still playing that right back, inverted, going to the midfield, even going to help Van Dijk and Konate sometimes in the middle of the defense. I wonder how he's going to do that, because in this game, Arsenal, we know, like to keep their wingers very wide and up the pitch. So it's going to be interesting how whoever is going to play the left wing for Arsenal is going to match up with Szoboszlai if he plays in that right position. Talking about what Humphrey just mentioned right there in the middle, Zubimendi, I put it in those matchups too. Because I've been watching, a lot of people are saying Florian Wirtz hasn't really shown in Liverpool shirt, but I've watched him keenly. That guy is very, very technical and is very intelligent on the ball. I see him as a player that might cause serious damage for Arsenal in this game, because he doesn't engage in physical battles. He does his thing in what who calls a cerebral player. So it's going to be a very, very interesting game. It's early in the season. Mikatota, that I know, might not really want to go out to win this one, because he doesn't like to lose against contenders. He might go into that game playing for a draw, and if they hoping that Bucharest gets one of those chances and slot it in. So it's going to be a very interesting game for neutrals, even for fans. I don't think anybody will want to miss this game. It's going to be very, very interesting. As an Arsenal fan, of course, I hope Arsenal wins, and they have what it takes to win that game. But again, Liverpool have been scoring goals with recklessness. Though the hope Arsenal is going to happen in this game is Liverpool are conceding goals against anybody, and this has been happening. One more key thing for me, I don't know if you guys agree. I've watched Liverpool all through the preseason and this season. They tend to tire out about an hour into all their games. That has been something that has been prevalent in Liverpool games, even in preseason. People like Ekitike, they barely finish any game. Same with Florian Wirtz. So it's going to be very interesting how they're going to handle Arsenal in this one. I don't know, even like if you have anything to touch base before we move to City and Brighton around the top.
Arsenal will be handled. Arsenal.
Is there
As,
if is this your wish, or you're just talking
as
based on
Arsenal will be handled. Here's why I feel Arsenal will be handled. You look at, obviously you have Gapo, you have Ekitike and Salam Aleikum. Then in the mid you have Florian Wirtz, Wirtz, whatever, however they pronounce that
it's
dude's name.
Vitz. They call it with V.
Yeah,
It's a W.
the name always does my mouth in. But
I know,
when you
Germany.
when you look at, I really wish Freeport plays that game, because they need Szoboszlai and McAllister too. You know, it might be a cagey one. You know, it might be a cagey one. I'm not impressed with Kanute. I'm not Kanute. I'm not impressed with Kanute. You know, his inconsistency is putting pressure on Van Dijk, and they might have one of those iffy moments that may lead to VG doing that horrible celebration. You know, so I don't I don't feel.
Do you have any response to that?
The celebration has barely started. It's already horrible. you better get a picture and get a picture of that celebration and put it in your living room, because you're gonna keep seeing it and seeing it. Not like you started hating the thing too early.
Obviously,
You're in trouble.
You know, when are we even playing? Who's playing home first?
Even Arsenal Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think it's sometime next month. All these big games are coming in early.
After,
What's your final take on this game before we move to Brighton City?
My final take would be I would say Arsenal. I hope 1-0 or 2-1.
Oh, okay. Them man's are dreaming, you know. These guys are jokes.
The keyword is I hope. Realistically, I'll probably say 1-1 or 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I believe it's going to be a draw, because Arteta is not going to go out there and be expansive. Yeah, Arsenal are really, really, they are very focused defensively this season. I've seen so far. if they continue with what they have done this season, I don't think they will just go there set up for a draw. Because for me, if you can win the game, fine. A draw won't be a bad result at this stage because you don't want to lose touch with your biggest rival or contender. You're contending against this season this early enough. So I want Arsenal to be in touch with Liverpool as they progress, so that anything happens, you're ready to pounce on the opportunity. The next game is Brighton are hosting Manchester City this weekend. Brighton is a very interesting team that sometimes when they play against these big teams, they find their rhythm. And City right now don't want to deal with a team like Brighton. I don't know. Ugo, before you say anything, let me read comment from Humphrey right quick. He says, Zubi and Vase matchup doesn't bother me as much as the speed and physicality of Gravenberch and Jones. When we are in possession, Partey could absorb the pressure contact and play through it. Okay. And John says, you want to get defeat in Lions Den, boss Odo. Yeah, so Odo, what's your take? Brighton are hosting City this weekend. Brighton have they have 1 point, lost to Everton last weekend. It surprised the result of last weekend. City as well lost 2-0 to Tottenham. So both of them are not in the good in the best of times right now.
Yeah, Brighton City again. It will be a highly contested game, but please, I love Humphrey's take on. Sorry, let me just go back to that. The Gravenberch is still underrated, man. That boy is a player. Look at the goal he scored. Look at the way he took that goal he scored last week. That was like Thomas Partey, like just stroked it into the corner. You know, it's not. It wasn't nothing forced. It was just a player that's at the top of his game, doing what he wanted to do. All right, so that guy is someone that's going to. Ateta may do well to probably play Merino in that game. Yeah, someone needs to take care of Gravenberch because everything flows through him for Liverpool.
For Liverpool in
So
the midfield,
I just wanted to mention that. Then for Brighton City, I see a City win. I think Brighton they are picking up much like Bournemouth, much like Brentford and the rest of them, but still not strong enough. City were really strong last week. Pep, you could see the look on his face, with all the players he bought, being summarily beaten like that by Tottenham must have really hurt. So I'm sure they will come out fighting against Brighton, and I see a City win.
Malak, what's your take on this game? What's your high take? What's the hot take on this game for this fixture? I mean, these two teams have
Yeah.
lost one game each. City has won one, and Brighton has drawn one and lost one.
Yeah, they lost against Everton, which was shocking too. I didn't think they should have lost that game, but you see, that's the good thing about football. If it was predictable, everybody for done they cash out for Sporty Bet or Bet Ninja, So that one was a shocker too. I must admit, Grealish played really well in that game. So we give credit to Everton too. With Brighton, you really don't know. They might even come up to the weekend game playing their best football, But I think everyone will be leaning on to City doing the numbers. I think it might not be easy. I see City probably edging this one. Maybe like a 2-1 or 3-2. I believe there will be goals in that game though. So for the betting fans out there, put both teams to score. Goals.
Yeah, for me, tactically speaking, Brighton are strong, where City right now are not really doing well, which is in the midfield. Brighton is a team that knows how to hold possession. And if you go to the matchup of whoever plays right back for City against what's that guy's name? The guy from Asia.
Mitoma.
Mitoma. You know he will mesmerize anybody that plays in either of those fullback for City. So Brighton has what it takes to beat City, and they're playing at home as well, and they have always been difficult for big teams to handle. So yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if Brighton wins City or they get a draw in that game. Manchester City, obviously, with Haaland, because Brighton, the bad thing, the weakness they have is they give up chances because they're a team that want to get on the ball. And when they do that, when they want to play or go forward, they give up chances. And a player like Haaland behind you, you don't do that against him. So if that happens, obviously, Haaland will get his goals as usual, as he does. So I don't know what to call that game. With Brighton not having just 1 point in 2 games, they might be fighting. And what's his name? Welbeck. Sometimes when he sees these big teams, he stands up, and he might not like him, but he's been quite effective for Brighton since he joined them, and he is their first choice. Even when Pedro was there, most of the time the coach usually prefers to play with uh, Welbeck. So I don't know. But like if your last words before we move on and round up.
I think City edged that one, 2-1 or 3-2. Only just because they're going through a rough spell themselves too, and they're looking to bounce back. So I think looking at Pep from last week, my man was gutted. He was absolutely under the radar about everything. He couldn't even figure out what went wrong with his City squad. Like you said, my man spent almost 200 mil or almost 300 mil on players, and they're not gelling to the best of it. But they would have always still struggled the moment KDB left. We all knew that. They're also in transition, so some of these things happen. I don't think Rodri is proper fit. Kovacic is still out injured. I'm worried. Foden is not even in the picture. Bernardo Silva here and there. He's also aging, so this might also probably be his
His
last
last season.
season.
Yeah, we say
Yeah,
that every season there's going to
they
be City. Then they find a way to make it to stay back.
yeah
Okay, let's get into
they
our predictions. Ugun, let me start with Tiffy. Chelsea, Fulham.
3-1 Chelsea.
Ugun, what about you?
2-1 Chelsea.
I predict a 1-1.
Obviously, before.
United, Burnley. Tiffy.
I go a draw. 1-1.
Ugun.
2-0 United.
I go 2-1 United. Brentford traveling all the way to Sunderland. One like Iffy.
Brentford won the last game, so I believe Brentford might win that one. 2-1.
Okay. Ugo.
Brentford 2-0.
I'll go 3-2 Brentford. Bournemouth traveling to Tottenham Stadium.
3-0 Spurs.
Yes, sir. Ugo.
2-2.
Yeah. I was going to predict 2-2. Everton away to Wolves.
1-1.
Ugo.
2-1 Wolves.
Okay. I go 2-1 Everton. Leeds are home to Newcastle.
Newcastle 3, Leeds 0. I feel Leeds are going to struggle this season.
Ugo.
Newcastle 2, Leeds 1.
I go Newcastle 3-1. Arsenal at Anfield.
3-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Arsenal.
Arsenal 3-1. Arsenal win 3-1.
These man's are dreamers.
Brighton City.
That's a tough one. I see goals. City just 3-2.
Ugo.
City just 3-2.
Ooh.
Man like iffy.
At the last game of the weekend, Aston Villa, who has been struggling at home to Crystal Palace, and I would have loved to discuss that game, but we don't have too much time. Man like iffy. Crystal Palace are traveling to Villa Park.
I think the loss of Eze is going to affect Crystal Palace, and Villa need to start putting numbers on the board. So I'm going with a Villa win on that one, maybe 2-1.
Villa are struggling. I'll do 2-1 Crystal Palace.
And I will do 2-2. So our viewers, the 3 games for this weekend, don't forget, if you get these results correctly, you win a jersey of your favorite club, the Anfield War, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Everton, Manchester City. Then we will go with another London derby for Chelsea against Fulham. These 3 games, if you get the scoreline correctly, you stand the chance of winning your favorite jersey. We take our last comments.
Meanwhile, Bayern Munich are facing Arsenal. They are facing Chelsea at home, PSG away, Club Brugge at home, Arsenal away, Sporting at home, PSV away.
Yeah, the draw is on, yeah.
Union, yeah. So, yeah, Arsenal are going to play Munich.
Yeah, so the last comment of the day, Humphrey says, football is not monopoly. At the end of the day, the managers have the mesh, all the fancy toys they are buying. They're buying together and get results on the pitch, obviously. Yeah, so guys, don't forget to send in your predictions before the weekend games start, before Chelsea plays Fulham, on all our social media handles and YouTube, Facebook. Okay, John said we should put the matches. That is, we have Chelsea versus Fulham. We have Arsenal. No, sorry. Liverpool versus Arsenal, and Brighton versus City. So these 3 games are the games you are to predict. All our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you are, sending your predictions before Chelsea plays against Fulham, and we'll put those predictions when we come back on Sunday or Monday for the review. We'll announce the winners if we have any. Thank you guys in the comment section. Humphrey, it's good to have you, Pele. One of these days, you need to get on this show and have this chat with us. Man, like if you always, Ugum, always, anytime we call upon you. And guys, we have our brand new studio as well. You can see behind me here. I'm trying to put it together for you guys. Very soon, we're going to be having Ugum and other pundits live in the studio. We'll have some one-on-ones to talk about this game. And I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.